and I understand about profit, and I need you to get this too, is that it is foolish for us to expect that profit will just automatically show up. Because when Jesus, or rather when God told Moses to tell him, look, you're going out and you're not going out empty, they had something to do. He says, go and tell them, look, give me the stuff. And the stuff that you tell them to give you, they're going to give it to you. You got to go collect your profit. Do you hear what I'm saying? You've got to go collect your profit. There is something laid up for you, but it's going to stay there on that shelf until you go collect it. It's foolish for us to expect that it's just going to automatically show up or be there for us. We've got to go get it. It's there, but we've got to go get it. And I thought about this. I thought about in my own life, and you've heard me, many of you have heard me tell the story about the construction company that we had and how ultimately the company folded. I mean, if it could fold 9 times, it folded all the times that it could, and there was nothing left over. Nothing left over. But then again, everything that I learned. That's right. See, don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. When we talk about profit, we're not just talking about money. Because there are some things God will allow you to go through and you'll come out and you won't have no money. But when you look back and see all that you learned, you'll know how to keep the money the next time it comes. I was thinking about that business and all of the deals that we had, and generally speaking, whenever we wrote a contract, we would put in or figure in a certain amount of profit, 10 to 20% profit margin, and we had contingencies and all of these things, and all of it was just more padded profit. And when I think about it and I look at the profit that we should have had on various deals, and we came to the end of the deal, Brother Kenny, we came to the end of the deal, we still owed more than we had in the bank. And I'm saying, my God, I thought the profit was here. I had the line item here for this and the line item here for that. And what I came to understand is that it was foolish of me to expect that just because I figured in for profit, that it would stay there. My God. Let me tell you what my mistake was. My mistake was the mistake that many of us make. We live in either the past or the future. So I was in business. I was living in the past and in the future. I was living in the past because I knew how much money we put there. I was living in the future because I'm saying, as soon as this project over, I'm going to get my money. But I made the mistake of not living also in the present. When you live in the present, you know what you put there and you know what you expect to get. But when you live in the present, you look at every line item day by day and week by week. So you know when you're going over in certain areas. So you know when you're coming up short in certain areas. And so many times we live in tomorrow or we live in yesterday that we don't pause long enough to make sure that when we go over, I got to make adjustments along the way. When I know I figured $100 for this, but it cost me 110, so I'm gonna have to cut back over here somewhere, because if I keep going over just a little bit, every little bit gonna add up and it's not gonna be anything left over. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let me talk about that past, present, and future again. You know, we opened up by talking about the 3 dimensions again. There are 3 choices that we all have of residency. You can either live in the past, you can either live in the present, or you can either live in the future. Far too many times we live in the past. Wow. We live in the past. We live in yesterday, what happened yesterday, what didn't happen yesterday, what you said to me yesterday, how you looked at me or failed to look at me yesterday. Strongholds are birthed out of experiences from yesterday. I used to love Laffy Taffies until one night, I think I was in the 7th or 8th grade, I was eating a Laffy Taffy and got sick. And I hadn't cared too much for Laffy Taffy since then, because a stronghold was birthed out of my yesterday. And my negative experience from yesterday, Laffy Taffies are still, I'm sure, just as good as they were before I had that negative experience. But because of the stronghold that was birthed out of my yesterday, it's affecting me in my today. I wonder if there are any strongholds that we're dealing with. Because the truth of the matter is, some people, sometimes we can live so far in yesterday that tomorrow is gone before we even get to it. We spend so much time in yesterday, and then just as many people live in the future. One of these days I'm going to do this or that. One of these days I'm going to have the house of my dreams. One of these days I'm going to have the car of my dreams. One of these days I'm going to be married to the man or woman of my dreams. Can't wait till I get these kids out of school. Can't wait till I get the promotion. Can't wait till I get this bill paid off. Can't wait till I get the new TV. Can't wait till January comes so I get my rapid refund. Can't wait. We live in the future. But the truth of the matter is, the future never takes on the dimension or the shape that we want it to take on because we don't do anything in our present to ensure that it does. In order for there to be profit in your tomorrow, there are things that we have to do in our today. The truth of the matter is, as we spoke about on Sunday, there has to be a balance between our yesterday, our today, and our tomorrow. We have to learn from our yesterday, but we can't live in our yesterday. We take what we learned yesterday so we know how to handle today. And ultimately tomorrow is better because of the balance that we have in the midst of it all. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes. The decisions that we make in our present determine what we have left over. The decisions that we make in our present determine what we have left over. I was reading through co-pastor's book, and she has a chapter there that deals with this thing about the future and how we all trying to get to a quote-unquote place called there, and there for everybody represents something different. And in our pursuit of there, we don't do what we need to do while we're here. I thought about all of this in light of the fast. Thought about all of this in light of the fast because we are moving from a place of spending to becoming possessors, to begin to walk in ultimately that 100-fold dimension, to possess our promised land. But in order for us to possess our promised land, I'm concerned that there are things that we've still got to learn out of the wilderness. There are some things that we've got to embrace, some things that we've got to embrace about ourselves. And the purpose of the fast is for us to see that we can have something left over on this level. If that's the word for tonight. You can have something left over on this level. Stop convincing yourself that you will not have something left over until you get to some next place or this place called there. You can have something left over on this level. I remember years ago I was teaching a finance course. And in that finance course, we oftentimes talk about that 10% and setting aside 10%, the tithe that belongs to God. But one of the things that we challenge and we're challenged to do in that course is to not give God the 10% and live off the 90, but to give God the 10% and make that a minimum, first of all, but give God the 10% and then give ourselves 10% and live off the 80. It's the 10-10-80 principle. And so many times we get so caught up in the rhetoric of life and trying to get this done and get that accomplished and pay this bill and pay that we never set aside something for ourselves. But the fact is, can I make a suggestion? If you can live off 90, you can live off 80. Let me show you how to make that happen. You know, the people you call and say, I know I'm supposed to send $75 in this week. But I can only send in 60. Well, if you're not sending the minimum anyway, send them 50. Okay, y'all might not need to leave that on the tape. Just get the principle. Just get the principle. I mean, the point is you're sending them less than they want anyway. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now, I got a revelation today. I called a few people. And I said, we're in the middle of this fast, and I want a few testimonies tonight. I want to know if God has done anything in your life as a result of the fast. Did you save any money?